Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense.
Wow.
Whoa, with the
Wow, dude.
the two, nice.
The tambourine man over here, dude.
Welcome back. Friday, September 20th, 2024. I was listening to an episode from February this morning.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, a lot worse. Things were a lot worse than they are currently at Clicked and Smart. Oh my gosh, yeah. We had just done an audit of like people's leave inside the company. There were people taking like 3 months off a year. We had just figured out how to run a sales pipeline. We were stoked about that.
This is pre-Jack, obviously.
This is pre-Jack. We were kind of getting ready, cleaning up. Yeah.
Henry's brother who runs the company.
Yeah.
If you're a new listener.
He doubled the business in the last 5-6 months.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, he's due for an update pod pretty soon once we cross 200K a month, which we're close.
194.
Pipes real hot. Also, potentially big opportunities on the horizon with Soren, who does really fun.
Let's timestamp every ball we've got in the air right now.
Yeah. Any other ball? Tamagotchi, dude? He had to pry my hands off Tamagotchi, dude.
Let's not go there right now.
That's going to get dark, dude.
The Azores episode, everybody.
We've made it. Well, we haven't made it. We're still in Lisboa, but we're getting a lot closer.
Part 2. So things kind of broke down last episode when we got 35 minutes in and realized we were only on day 1 of the week-long trip.
Right.
Lisboa.
You ever think? So we're in Lisboa right now, which is, and I don't mean to brag here, but I speak Spanish, to a certain degree, and we went on a Spanish.
This is
tour.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
well, hey, can I hit you with one more thread? Okay. Pre-Spanish tour in Lisboa, which we never figured out why it's called Lisboa, but then Lisbon in English.
It's Portuguese.
It seems like we probably should have figured. That's like the one thing.
Like we could pronounce a boa constrictor, dude. We already got that.
Lisboa. You sent me a thing from, I think, Patrick Collison, some super deep underground tweet about how like he uses this little device to heat up bug bites and denature the proteins, and it works really well. I think it's from Germany. Got it. Works really well.
Really?
Yeah. Ordered it immediately.
Dude, Gadget guy.
Yeah, girl. It hurts. It's like a little cigarette burn.
Denaturing you're probably gonna get skin cancer there in 20 years.
Right. So what's the
melanoma or what's the thing that mosquitoes give? Fucking
malaria.
Melanoma or malaria? You pick poison. That's awesome.
What was that tweet a friend sent you yesterday about jelly beans or something? Malaria and melanoma just reminded me.
Jelly beans.
Like I should work today, but jelly beans or something.
Oh, yeah. Zach sent it to me. I think it was more like I should go to bed. It's like 1 a.m. But who the fuck invented jelly beans or something? I forget. Tagged me because that's me, dude. Or used to be. I don't know what I am now.
God, we send so much stuff.
Well, that is part of my qualms with our friend group is I like sending stuff. I fire off a lot of stuff.
It's a love language for sure.
It must be some sort of like weird gift giving love language or something, but like no one asked for these gifts.
Right, some perverse gift giving love language. Sharing memes and tweets and reels and
right. I think it just cries for help and attention. But no, it's not usually taken too kindly. But I'm really I kind of feel like Pilar, like our friend Ais, who senior year, he would do all these tasks for the house. We all lived together, and he'd like scrub the toilets because they're disgusting. And then he'd talk about how he is like the backbone of the house, like Pilar in Spanish, for months and months, just for this one thing he did. And he just like really pat himself. He would like double pat himself and then like have us all pat him on the back. I kind of feel the same where I am the Pilar of this friend group, and it goes underappreciated with my memes. And it doesn't happen as much anymore, but when my memes go unloved, a small part of me is like, don't just leave the group. and it's a flight response.
I don't mean to
I
be
think.
that guy, but I won't be that guy.
Oh, well, you're gonna trash talk everyone on calls today. Is
Yeah.
that?
No, I think that's the perfect segue actually to probably to Pulpo, which is where we left off.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So that guy's not gonna say bad things about people, but then Popo is strictly bad things.
Well, I didn't want to get into
Um.
that's where yesterday's episode broke down, is we kind of brought up the Pulpo, and
Oh,
there's a lot to unpack.
right.
So I guess
We're
it's just
still
a
in
matter of,
Lisboa.
yeah, how hard do you want to go into the
Well, my original thing when I brought up speaking Spanish, well, now I don't even remember the point. But it's just like we're trying to go from Lisboa to the Azores, which are like islands in the middle Atlantic of the Atlantic. I don't know how the fuck they found them. They're like completely out in the boondocks. Like did they find them as they were coming to the New World? Like after they came to the New World? Like they discovered it after America?
I think that's another mistake of having gone and not figured this out. Like there are
No
only
idea,
so many
dude.
things we
We
needed
just
to
rode
know.
hogs.
Yeah, like there are only
Yeah.
so many things to have learned about the Azores.
How'd you get here?
How to
I looked
pronounce
it
it's
up.
one. We didn't know how to do
Well,
that. Azores,
we
that's not it.
uh we never got like a thank. Did we get thank you? I don't even know. Gracias.
Obrigado.
Obrigado. Yeah, but they say hola, right? Or is that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
I think?
yeah.
We didn't learn much clearly, partly because of this tour. So, just to give us some context that maybe we're missing if you haven't watched the last one, it's Belky, Henry, me, our other best friend Ais, and his cousin and his twin brother. There are 5 of us, and we have uh, rightfully set the stage for conflict, where we are the premium economy guys, as in we'll spend extra to get like a slightly better experience. That it's like not
No, I
much
think
money
it's
for a
yeah,
lot better.
right. I think we'll spend a little more to get a lot more gain
Right,
in
right,
experience.
right. It's not like we're flying business class here, spending 12 grand for a round trip. We're just trying to spend an extra 200
20
bucks in a
bucks,
bidding war.
50 bucks, 100
Yeah.
bucks.
And on the other side of the spectrum, premium economy guys, we got like basic. I'm in the like not the bulkhead, but like the fucking like I'm getting in the suitcase and I'm in the luggage compartment with the dogs under the plane. That's who we're with because they make about as much money as any dog probably would. We got unemployed friend. Another friend actually should
Yeah, he's
guys.
fine.
He should be making
Yeah,
money.
he's
So I don't.
fine.
I
It's
think
no,
we
what
just
it
have
is,
one.
it's scarce. It's a scarce minded
It's a
thing. Is what
mindset.
it is. It's a mindset.
Mm. And I don't mean fuck make this the
Oh,
trash
honk
talk
honk,
podcast.
dude.
Fuck, dude.
Honk
Fuck.
honk.
I was just thinking about the irony where they were talking about their other brother. We're just trash talk podcast. They're talking about their other brother, how cheap he is, and the irony is crazy because this whole
Well, they were
trip was
what was crazy about that is they were saying one of their biggest complaints about their other older brother is he complains about only cares about and complains about every single price and like why would you spend more here? Why would you spend more here? And
that's all we've done so far this trip.
it was the pot calling the kettle black
Right.
because they were doing it too.
Um, I have like a nervous tick where I scratch my nose, but now it's actually itchy, so I'm kind of stuck in this negative feedback loop. So okay, we're in Lisboa. We figured out where to stay. We're staying semi downtown, about as good as we can get, and so far we haven't had any real controversy other than that. But we didn't make this clear. This is a trip of flights. Like we're only spending like 2 days max in any particular location, and then we're just like flying off to the next spot, all on Ryanair. And we basically have like one complete day with Henry and all of us.
I have 1 day in Lisbon.
Yeah, 1 day in Lisbon. So we're trying to like do some stuff. And I guess the way we travel, we don't really plan things until like day of. So we wanted to do like a tour of like the one old part of the city. It's like I forget what they call it, but it's like this like castle lighthouse thing where they like send off all the sailors that would go to the new world and go and
Oh yeah.
discover things. So I wanted to go there. I think everyone wanted to go there, but because we're booking it 12 hours before the event, everything's sold out.
No, dude, it wasn't 12 hours before. It was 2 a.m. for a 10 a.m. tour.
Okay, wow.
It was the middle of the night, 8 hours before.
Yeah.
Like it was not even a full evening before.
Right. It wouldn't even like let you really buy tickets because you're not supposed to book day of. Like you're supposed to buy like for the next day. So like it would just gray out that day. So we didn't know what was available, and pretty much nothing was except for this one free walking tour. The caveat is it's in Spanish, and no one speaks Spanish except me a little bit. So I'm like, guys, we got to do something. I'm just gonna like get these 6 tickets because I guess we can do it's the only thing. So I get those tickets, and I'm just gonna be like the intermediary translator because we're in Portugal, which speaks Portuguese. We're gonna go to a Spanish tour, so they're already translating Portuguese to Spanish, and I'm gonna translate Spanish to English, and then fucking English to Cypriot Greek. So we'll see what happens. But then like morning of, I don't know why things just started to devolve from like the second we left the house.
Because it was So they were like, "Oh,
well,
awesome.
also
You
we
found
had to
like
find because we're gonna bike there because that was like a nice route. We were what 5 of us, so we had to find 5 like city bikes, basically like rentable bikes to then get to this place. So there's already tension and like we can't find bikes near each other, and we had to walk like a half a mile down the hill, to find bikes in the first place.
And then it went from the other people on the trip are like, great, like nice find. Yeah, we'll go on the tour, the English speaking tour. And you're like, it's a Spanish speaking tour because I booked this at 2 a.m. And that was the nail in the coffin. They're like, a Spanish speaking tour? Not
you can
wasting my time.
tell troubles are brewing when you hear the Cypriot brothers start speaking Greek, and you're like, uh-oh.
Well, Cypriot, right?
Yeah, and they're very expressive.
Yeah, so we're like walking to try and find bikes, and then the 2 are like lagging behind us, kind of yelling at each other, speaking Cypriot, and you know that's not
something's going on, and we're not the best at problem solving as a group. So it just starts building, and then like we can't find all the bikes, and like the scooter. Basically, shit just kind of blew up. Or like, yo, they don't want the Spanish tour. Belgi doesn't care. He just wants to see some shit. So he's like, well, if that's the fucking tour I get, it's the tour I get.
Yeah, like they were going to a museum, and I was like, my thing is if I got less, like 14 hours in a place, like I'd like to, even if I don't understand the Spanish, like, yeah, like let me get on a bike and at least like bike around. Right. There is not enough time in a one-day thing to like go into museums and stuff. I just want like, let me get the lay of the land and eat some good food.
Right. So we like broke up, even though like the thing that they ended up wanting to go to, this architecture museum, was on the way to our thing. So we just ended up like breaking up to only like go the same direction, which is kind of weird. But they were behind us. We didn't see them. And we're cooking. Even though you had a really fucking hot cup of coffee, somehow you balanced with your scooter or something.
How about we fast forward to how well you did on the Spanish speaking tour?
All right. Well, one, dude, I don't know why I couldn't find out where the tour started. I just figured it'd start at like the main building. So we go to the main building and we like rushed and were late to get there. And then we realized like, oh my God, it's not here. It's in a completely other part of the city. So then we had to like bike back another 10 minutes or so. But we see this big ass group of people and we're like, that's got to be the tour.
That's got to be a free tour. It's 50 people.
Yeah, dude, the second, I don't know why, like, this is where Conchita was 100, that's Isis twin, was 100% correct. Dumbest decision ever to go on.
Well, right, so we mosey in, we're so late. I've got coffee all over me because I spilled it everywhere, and we just kind of mosey into the back of the group to just, like, absorb in. One sentence in, you and I look at each other and we're like, dude, the tour's in Spanish. Like, what?
No way we're doing this.
She's talking about religion and dates and explorers and the conquista, like in Spanish. It's like, no way.
we're walking, so it's like the slowest way to see a city possible. So immediately I'm like, fucking, I fucked up. My bad, Belky. I dragged you along for this. They were smart. They at least bailed. Um, but you're a scrapper. So you start looking up the best way to see a city. You're like, let's get some fucking hogs. I'm like,
Audible.
right on, dude.
Rent a
Um,
hog, get your hair blowing in the wind, and get to as many viewpoints in a city as physically possible.
which, fast forward, exactly what we did. Absolutely fantastic. It was like, I don't really know how things work. Like, I just assumed there was a lot of coordination needed. You were just like, dude, there's a fucking Google said there's a place here, so we're just gonna show up there, and if they got hogs, they got hogs. They had hogs, dude.
Super economic. So this is like
It took literally 5 minutes.
this is like a premium. It's another premium economy lesson. We asked the other three, like, do you want to come get hogs with us? And they're like, how much? And we're like, 35 euros for the day. Mind you, that's 35 euros for like pure freedom. The purest
freedom,
form of
dude.
freedom. And they're like, like it's probably only going to be like 6 hours before we got to get to this palace tonight. So like,
You're doing long
no
division,
thanks.
dude.
Yeah, like, why are you doing
fuck.
long division? Get the hog, and yeah, beautiful experience. We basically just go to this tiny shop, rent hogs for 30 euros for the day, ride as fast as we can. Which, by the way, in a city with a lot of tourists and a lot of cars, and in Lisboa, a lot of one-way streets that are just like super hard to get around. Hogs, dude. Like, we could pull up to any viewpoint. You can park on the sidewalk. We can both like squeeze into little spots. Check out the viewpoint, get back on the hog, go to the next thing.
The one counterpoint is the slight. I haven't experienced like a panic attack like this in a while. Where you can park them on the side, but if you park them in the wrong spot, shit might just disappear. Where Belky's like, hey dude, look at this cool street art. Let's go buy that. We're like, all right, we just fucking skirt over, go park it, go like 2 minutes, and granted, there was no like real instructional, like, here's how to use the hogs. It was more like, fucking, have you ridden one before? Yeah, all right, fucking, here you go. Like, okay. So I don't really know how to like lock these things, and or like even how to turn it on or off. But we come back after 5 minutes of like haggling, and guy doesn't even accept like credit cards, so like we didn't even buy the thing. Get back, and it's just Belky's hog, and then I look for mine, and mine's just gone, like a fucking $3,000, $5,000 new moped. I just look around
in like a heavily trafficked area. So we're both like, right. Holy shit.
So like India.
So and it's not even a key that goes into the hog is a scooter, by the way. These are little putt scooters. All right, let's clear the air. And the key to them is a fob, so it's like in your pocket. So we're like, holy shit. In the 2 seconds we got off and we went to go buy this street art, someone came in when the bike was still activated, nabbed it, gone.
Fucking absolute panic attack. Granted, it was one of those like,
we were speechless.
It's so overwhelming. You just staring. You're just like,
both of us. It was like hands on head, staring at each other. You're just like, my bike, my bike. I'm like, your bike.
Couldn't even register. Like, what is the consequence of this? Like, I don't know what to do. And then like some random like tuk-tuk driver is like, yo, dude,
in the peak of our peak of our confusion.
Right. And I've been here before
from down the street.
I've had this with my own hog, my electric hog, which is in the shop right now because I ride it too hard. I came back to where I thought I parked it and it was just gone. And someone else is like, hey, did you have a bike? I'm like, yes. He's like, well, this fucking crackhead just took it. Same thing happened in Lisboa where it's like this tuk-tuk driver is like, hey, did you have this scooter?
Actually, like, complete opposite. I mean, similar. Continue.
Well, similar feeling.
Yes.
Where like in my head, I am getting flashbacks oh no, he saw the fucking criminal that's off, and he's like, oh no, you parked in an illegal spot, so some random person moved it there, and now they're gone. Good and then Samaritan. I look at that random spot 20 feet down, it's like nicely parked.
It's
I'm like,
beautiful.
fuck.
And
Yeah,
to be
Lisboa.
clear, so you said your New York hog you ride so hard and it's in the shop. That's an electric bike that you got a flat tire, which you don't know how to change yourself.
No, but I'm also getting a little basket on the. Well, the problem is it's gonna be about $500. So,
To get a basket?
well, the basket's a couple hundred, and then get some tires, get some new brakes on it.
What?
Went in the
Dude,
shop, dude. Went in the shop. Um, so
that's
we're having
crazy.
a grand old time,
Premium
and we're
economy.
ripping. They come back from the museum. We're still riding the hog high, and we got some time. So like we get the cousin.
What were those
Yo,
pastries?
Chris.
Oh, so okay, there was one more funny.
Oh, dude, I forgot
There was
about pastel de. What is it? Pastel de something.
pastilles or something.
Fuck,
That
they're
was
so good.
one more thing. Like we do stay on the Spanish tour for like 10 or 15 minutes while I'm figuring out where we can rent scooters. And the tour guide says in Spanish to you, like point blank, like to the group, but like you're listening. She's like, we pull over to this restaurant and she's like, the one thing you absolutely must do when you're in Portugal, in Lisbon, is get this super famous dish where you can't get anywhere else in the world, a super famous pastry.
Right.
And I turned to you after, like I can almost her like she's saying it's so important in Spanish that I understand the importance. And I'm like, Pop, like what is she saying? Like she's pointing to this place right here. We must get this thing. And he's like, I don't. She said we have to eat something, and I'm like, you're going. You're like this. You're like she's like,
Uh,
swear to
like we
God.
gotta eat something. I don't know where, but she said we're too big of a group to all go and get it
Right.
together, but you can get it in your own time.
And
And
so
so
we
we're like,
go to the
well,
restaurant that we're standing next to.
right, the big group's here, and it's basically like, well, it's got to be the fucking place we're next to, right? Uh, whatever. We don't even know what we're supposed to try. It's just pastel de something. Um, de nata. That's what it is. Pastel de nata. But I had no idea. I couldn't understand what's going on. So now we ditch this group. The group leaves, and we're like, all right, let's fucking get whatever this thing is that we're supposed to eat. And we're looking like all on the menu, and it's just like fucking sandwiches, or I forget what they were
It was
selling.
baguettes. It was like ham and cheese baguettes. So we get them.
We're like, it's got to
It's
be
10 in
like
the morning.
this. It says like most popular, or like something like
It
at the
has a
top, and
star
we're like,
next to it.
yeah, it's
We
got to
ask
be
him,
the
we're like,
star.
what do most people get here? And he's like, the ham and cheese baguette. But usually for lunch.
Right? It's like fucking 10
We're like, all right,
a.m.
we'll have two
Uh,
because she said
right,
try it. We get them.
right when we get them. I don't know why we didn't ask before, but right when we get them, we're like, oh, this doesn't really look like the thing that she was talking about. She said they're sweet.
And tiny. We have a foot long. We have 2 foot longs.
And we see right outside at the restaurant, people are eating the little bags. And like, oh, we thought we were getting the bags. And it's like, no, dude. They bought them at that store and just brought them here. And then he points to this store with pastel
we
de
and we,
nata.
we well, we crook our head just out of this restaurant. And there's like a line down the block at this other place. It's like
20 feet away.
pastel de whatever since 1743. And everyone's drinking coffee and eating these little breakfast pastries. We're like,
We just got our ham and cheese baguette. Stupid. Dude.
you're
I
so
actually
bad at Spanish.
telling the stories. I'm like, God damn, dude, Conchito was right. Like maybe I'm the villain in this story.
Oh, you
But
are absolutely. But it's also a mindset because like this is to me this is the fun. This is the adventure. The journey is the destination, right? It's like eating a baguette on accident at 10 a.m.
I didn't want a baguette at 10 a.m.
Those pastels, the other guys didn't get them for one, and for two, I will
tried
never
to get them to him.
We this is just the you and me. We're just indulging at this point. But I will never forget those stupid fucking pastels now, you know? And like that to me is the point. Like it was hilarious. We're curled over on the curb just cracking up about these baguettes. We ate everything.
Well, here's the thing. We force fed ourselves the baguettes. But the pastels, I thought in my head, I'm like, I want to be a good Samaritan. and I know these shits rip. So I'm gonna get a dozen of them, and I'm gonna bring them back, and I'm gonna be the savior. So we Uber back. We actually Uber. I think we Uber. So we
No,
Uber to the
we have a
hog place.
dozen. We have okay. Hold on. The pastéis. It's like a mini little pie crust filled with egg custard.
So tasty though.
It's an egg pastry, egg and sugar. Two
Right.
things that go super bad, super fast.
Right. Super bad, super fast. And so we don't go to the guys to bring it to them. Nor do we go home to like put it in the fridge.
No, you're missing a step. You're missing a step.
Okay.
We have a dozen egg sugar pastéis, and we go and get our hogs because we made a reservation.
Yeah.
We're so behind. It's like 11, and we haven't seen anything. Half the morning's gone. We put them in the seat of the scooters, or the trunk of the scooter, which is like a black. It's just a black trunk, and it's 95 degrees out.
Solar cooker.
We actually hadn't eaten one yet, but we're so behind. We just want to get to the first viewpoint, and we get to the first viewpoint, and we open the solar cooker, and we each have a pastel, and we're like, one, this is delicious, but two, I don't think these are supposed to be cooked all day long.
Right.
I can already tell this is not. They're starting to smell.
Right.
It's been 20 minutes.
So we go, dude, oh my God. I'm gonna taking the worst selfie of all time right after eating that pastel de nata too. Dude, I'm like, wow, I'm actually ugly. Like that this can't be real. And we took another photo soon after and I was back to looking normal, but fuck, we'll put it up. So
We're
right
not
after
gonna
that
get to the Azores.
No, we're in Lisboa.
Oh boy. I forgot about the solar cooker. That's the problem.
Dude, you don't know what's there until you start unpacking. So we just go back, dude. We're like, we're gonna be good. We're gonna go back and put it in the fridge for these guys.
Right. It's one step forward, 4 back every time. So we don't go straight back because again, we're running way behind. We see like 4 more sites. Beautiful castle in the middle of town. We go down to the water, dip our toes in the water probably. Then we start heading to the Airbnb. Now it's probably been an hour. And about 3/4 of the way there, we're like, hey, dude, don't know if you know this, as the 2 idiots in the group that ditched everyone, clearly the villains. We ain't got a key to the Airbnb. They ain't trust us with the key. We got no way in.
No. But here's the bright side, because I don't want to say ingenious because that sounds cocky, but we're really smart. We go and we see there's a smidgen of hope. All right. And actually, there were a couple smidgens. We missed the most obvious, actually
it's
smart
so
ones.
Dumb. Yeah, we get there. We're like, well, we know the code to the first door. So we can at least open the building's first door and just like put these things in the hallway and they'll be fine in 4 hours. But that wouldn't be super fun.
Right. Instead, we're at the door and we look up and we're on the 2nd floor. It's not super high, maybe 15 feet above our heads. Balcony. And I don't know what a balcony means to you, but to me, that means time traveling delivery vehicle. Because I'm like, we can if we get a good toss, we can loft this puppy right up over the balcony and just land tuck right there. And as long as the sun, which is currently not hitting this street, does not go any higher in the sky, these things aren't going to get cooked.
Dude, we didn't even think about that at the time. We're just like, balcony will be perfect because if we launch them up there, they're going to come home soon. They can just open up the balcony and eat the pastilles. We weren't thinking about the sun.
I think
because the street was completely shaded and they're narrow streets.
I think it was almost like right after we did it. We realized.
It was after so you hurled it.
No, when we were coming back, maybe you're like, oh, I hope the sun didn't fucking go up in the sky. I hope it just stayed level with the horizon. But
Spoiler
no, the
alert.
sun goes up, dude.
Solar cooked
Uh,
all afternoon on the
so
balcony.
yeah.
The pastilles in a bag.
So you had to toss them.
Whoa, dude.
So that was our olive branch, and it got fucking cooked right there on the balcony. So this is just teeing us up. We divided the group the whole day, and what's funny is you texted me. It's like, where do we start? And you're like, the octopus, and I'm like, the pulpo.
If we even get there.
And we're just getting the pulpo trapped in Lisboa, dude. And it's funny because this story is probably just good for us. But we're reunited some point. Did we go to the palace this day too? I don't know what happened. Yeah, we went to the palace.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
went to this dude, also hilarious. Like it was worth it. We were shitting on it. These are the risks you got to take. But we're like, hey, dude, palace is like an hour out of the city, and we couldn't get a tour guide, so we're just gonna like go by ourselves and see it, which is not ideal. But we're like, why are we going out of the city when we haven't even explored the city?
You're right.
But
It's a
whatever.
2-hour round trip.
Yeah.
And
But it was colorful.
on our one day in Lisboa.
So we ended up going out there. It was a
great.
hoot. It was very cool. Definitely worth it. So
It's like a
villains
palace
again.
on a mountain in the clouds, and it's crazy colorful. Amazing tiles.
Photos there too if you're not watching on YouTube. So we're having a good time, and we're like, all right, boys are hungry. We've explored. Let's just go back, have a good meal. The first idea was have a good meal in this town. Was it like Dulce or some fucking? What was the name of the town? I forget. Whatever the town was where we're at, we go down. We walk down the hill because we wanted to save some money or something, and everything's empty. Like,
Oh, no,
they
we didn't
wanted to
want to
go to
save money.
restaurants.
It
Just
was
take too much
easier to
time.
catch an Uber. No, like the palace is up on this crazy windy hill, and it's a one-way street all the way up. And so if you like call an Uber or a taxi, they have to do like 30 minutes up this windy hill. But you could walk 8 minutes down the hill and just like get a car down there.
Yeah.
So that was good.
So we
That
did
was
that.
practical.
But we're gonna have dinner there, and it was just like an empty restaurant, and we're like, fucking no, we're not gonna eat in this ghost town. Like, that's scary. So we end up going back to Lisboa, and we just want to have a great, like, bring the boys together sort of meal. And it starts off great.
The boys were buzzing.
We literally had a
Overcame
couple
a
drinks
lot of
beforehand.
differences.
And
sorry, thought about the
well,
cherry wine, but that's just it's just a tangent we don't have to take at this point.
cherry. Yeah, we don't have to.
Shouldn't,
we'll drive
because
on.
we did a 20-minute pastille.
Well, how are we ever gonna get to? Well, whatever.
Next pod is how we're gonna get to the Azores. We're gonna fly there.
We are at dinner, buzzing, and the waitress comes over, and we're just chatting her up. We got the buddy Chris, who's a single bachelor. He's hitting on her in a very direct way. I don't know how it came up.
She kind of started it. Like, we just sat down. She's like, "What do you guys want to drink?" Like, "You're all cute," kind of thing. And then Chris just point blank is like, "What are you doing later?" And all of us are like, "No, I think he said, are you single?" All three of us are like, "Dude, relax." It was immediate. Am I getting that right?
It's like, it was the smallest interest from her is like, "Wow, you guys are cute." And they're like, "What do you think of Chris?" She's like, "Yeah, he's cute." And then he's like, "What are you doing after your shift?" I'm like, "What, Chris? Slow play it a little, man."
And it was funny because she like fake pulled up a chair and was gonna like sit with us. We're like, have a drink. She's like, I can't or whatever.
Yeah.
It was actually usually I think those table to waiter or waitress interactions are really painful. This was actually like playful and seemed funny.
Yeah. No, she was having a good time. We're all having a good time until the menu came out. Well,
fuck the pulpo, dude.
Yeah.
Curse of the pulpo.
So we all ordered. I don't know. We all ordered like the same bullshit, and then our how do we even tell the story? All right, you're right. You take it.
Well, I just wanted to get to the principles.
Oh yeah.
Let me try and get into it because then you'll be primed to take it over. So basically, we all order. It's it's kind of a big thing when we're ordering. It's not a big thing, but it's confusion. All right, because half the table gets a grilled octopus. The other, actually not half. One guy gets an octopus with rice. And that's the whole, it's just like, it's just kind of starts this bubbling of confusion. Like, what is the difference between a grilled octopus and the octopus with rice? And they're like, well, the octopus with rice is also grilled, but it's with rice. He's like, okay, I'll get that. And I get something, and I think you got the octopus. Banter continues. Then the food comes. Okay. Then the food comes.
And ours
My,
look delicious. Let me tell you.
yeah,
All our octopi,
was delicious. You
octopuses,
want to know about
octopuses.
Portuguese food? I had like a creamy, it's like a creamy codfish over potatoes or something.
Oh
Um,
yeah, creamy cod, just normal grilled octopus, and then and this is something that's objectively probably not what we all imagined here. Uh, what comes out is not a
the octopus
plate.
with rice is the problem.
I Yeah, I don't know kitchen equipment. It's not a plate; it's a pot. You got a
Mm.
pot,
Pot with a ladle.
and right, and there's still hope here, right? You're ordering octopus with rice, and you're like, okay, well, maybe it's like you're hoping for a paella type thing, and sometimes maybe they serve it in a pot. But the problem with the pot is you can also put liquids in it. So what he unveils is not really rice, but rather a stew.
Octopus
It's a
stew
octopus stew. Um,
with
and
rice. It's a soupy rice. It's a
right.
soupy rice.
So technically accurate. The menu was technically accurate. There was rice with octopus. They didn't mention the water, uh, which for some, not a big deal, dude. She's like, "Whoa, that's fucking funny." I thought I was just rice and octopus, and I got rice,
And
water, and
we
octopus.
were sharing as an entire table. So it's like, hey, if you're not happy with that, like, pass it over. I'll have some here, have some cod. Like, that's kind of how we eat as a group.
Right.
And,
Um,
and then things start to turn at the table. Guy in particular has had quite a bit to drink. And he starts being like, yo, this is kind of weird. Still kind of
no.
in a fun way. This is kind of
Yeah.
weird. Like, this this is a soup. This is a soup, which is kind of
We're all
weird.
like, yeah, that's a soup.
Yeah. Funny. Yeah. Dude, you want some of my grilled octopus? You want some cod? That is a soup. You're right. Yeah, I'll have some. And then Chris.
Well,
We should probably
yeah,
talk.
because the waitress comes over and she's doing her check-in. She's like, "How's everything?" We go around the horn. It's like, fucking right
Bien.
on, bien, todo bien. And she also like recommended a couple of the dishes. So we're like, "Hey, you did a great job. This is exactly what we're looking for." Problem is that tees up just the smallest little difference in expectations.
Well,
She comes,
straight.
yeah,
Are you going to get to straightforward Chris's mistake? Because he's
yeah. Well,
having
yeah,
trouble.
you say it.
He's having trouble with the
The
where the
banter.
jokes. Yeah. What is banter and what is real life?
Right. Yeah, it's a good
Chris
point.
has also had a couple to drink,
I,
but
right. That's 2 strikes for Chris, actually.
yeah. So, and yeah, Chris, as the waitress is now here, she actually turns to walk away.
No,
And
yeah, I think everyone said good. Like
yeah,
we're just gonna put up with
bury
it.
the hatchet. We're fine. And Chris goes, well, actually, excuse me, he has a question. The guy with the
Didn't
octopus
have a
suit
question.
has a question.
Didn't have a question.
He really didn't
No,
until he was prompted to.
right.
And then by question, maybe he had a statement,
right.
which was, what the fuck is this? The menu did not say anything about a stew. And
Yeah.
it's still kind of, it's playful for a minute.
Right.
Because the waitress is like, yeah, like, I'm sorry. You're right. Like, can I get you anything? Can I get you a beer? Like, I'll take it back and like, we'll get you whatever. Do you want the grilled octopus? We can do another grilled octopus. No problem. You're completely right. You want to take the baton?
Well, yeah, I saw you looking to pass it there. There's something of like, something in this picture. It's like a couple minute exchange, but it's one of those kind of like what happened on your call today, of like it. the aggression kind of increases, and we're like, wait, is this a serious scenario? Because it's just silly. Should it go from silly to serious? Where are we on the spectrum? I thought we were over here. You're saying we're over here, and we're increasingly going there. And everyone's like, oh fuck, we're going this way. And this person's like, feeling everyone realize that, and is like doubling down, and it's just like fucking out of nowhere, it just turned into a like nuclear reaction
Yeah, so
of
like instead of like solving the problem, it became Conch, this friend, just wanting to win an argument about the food. He's like, "Bring the menu over. Let me see the menu. I'll show you. I'll show you." And at that point, that's when you jumped in
right.
because we all sensed, but like I was actually stunned because pretty much anyone I know or am around, like we don't send stuff back. What you get is what you get.
No.
Like we're just grateful to have food and have someone waiting on you. So I was kind of stunned. This is a deep
Well,
cut for you. The twin brother was like, he knows this happens, so like he was staying out of it.
right. Yeah, he
And then
didn't
you
want to
start
fucking
you start
get
butting
in the
in.
bull ring. Yeah, because I've experienced this archetype before. It is my mother. Uh, bless her soul. She wants a good dish when she's paying for it, and I think it might come from like a I don't know if it comes from like a cheap thing, like yeah, you're spending money, you want it to be right. I don't know what it is, but like half the time we go out to dinner with my family, she'll find something wrong with the dish and bring it up with the waiter, who's again just the messenger. They didn't cook this thing; they just fucking plugged in the order, and now it's a kerfuffle. And now they're like, "Oh, okay, no, we can comp it or bring you another one." And it's like now it's weird. They say no to that. And it's like, why'd you bring it up in the first place? Like you're not making the restaurant any better. So I've
It,
just dealt with it before, and it grinds my gears, fucking raw, dude. Down to just a wheel, no longer a gear. Um,
I think it's
and
like the upside in getting a fix is like so marginal and it just ruins everything.
right. The
It
vibe
ruins
was so
everything for
good.
the table. The kitchen, like go read like Anthony Bourdain, like Kitchen Confidential. Kitchen is like it's a terrible place to be. It's all hell
Mm,
during like mealtime, getting stuff out on time. It's like you don't want to mess with it.
dude. And I've been in those kitchens before. It's like cokeheads cooking your food. And if someone sends a dish back, they're gonna spit in the next one. Like no joke. Depending on the restaurant. So I'm like, dude, why even attempt that bear or like to prod that bear? So whatever. It's like the first time in years where I've like bubbled up enough to like almost be at like yelling. Like I was like, Conch, no, like fucking calm down. Like it's cool. I'm trying to be like, hey, waitress, it's cool.
And
Weird watery dish, but that's all good. Like it's just a dish. We'll eat
you're
tomorrow.
like, it's totally fine. Like, it's not your fault. We'll eat it. Like, no problem. And then that became, he, you know, then that became a subplot, a sub argument where
So-
he's like, dude, like, why are you, this is between me and her. And you're like, come on, man. Like, really? Right now?
right now. Um, yeah, dude, this is just a gossip podcast now. Sorry, but
Ah,
fuck, dude, story.
44
Yeah,
minutes in deep, the pulpo.
um, yeah. So we just had a full blown argument. It was like the first time in years I've been like, if this becomes a fight, like a physical fight, I welcome it. Like
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
so
know.
she walked away. They didn't come to any solution because he just wanted to win the argument, and he did win the argument.
It's
And then you
just
guys
so
actually
awkward.
got in a small yelling match at the table.
Yeah, and then, dude, it's just like, well, we're gonna be together for the next week of this trip, so fucking good first day. We break
Yeah.
up in the morning, come back together, think, buried the hatchet, and then fucking hatchet explodes out, and
But yeah, even just at the
uh,
restaurant, like entire mood at the table sucked. I'm
well, I
telling him
think,
like, dude, this isn't just about you and the waitress. This affects all of us. And I was also telling him like this wasn't about your dish cuz you're like, "Oh, I'll eat it. I'll eat it." And I'm like, "You just wanted to win the argument. Like what's the point of that?"
um, yeah, it was one of those weird things where like it's 1v everyone because like there's just almost like an objective way to handle this. It's like the classic dating thing is like, yeah, when you're on the date, like see how they treat the waiter. That's like representative of their personality. Fucking maybe you shouldn't date Conch. He did invite me to his wedding though. before this. So yeah, what's the principle to take away from this hot gossip? I don't know. This podcast has no upside, only downside, because our friends are gonna hear this and think we just trash talk them. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have certain attitudes about travel, uh, about really just living, and like I say this a lot. It's just, or not a lot, but like my buddy repeats it. Life's silly. Like life silly. It's like fucking. It's all a big goofy game, and we're just all having fun. And like, hey, if you take an L one day, just like next day is gonna be dope. Just like I don't know. It just it, like to. It's like the small nonsense thing. It's like we like just
Just
nonsense
think
in our
about
life.
the this was an octopus rice.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Right? And like the amount of stress and anger in that person, and then stress for everybody, and then weird dynamic. The amount of crap that came out of just like an octopus rice. It's like, if it's so terrible, don't even eat the octopus rice. Let's go to McDonald's after. All right, let's just have a good laugh about this. Because yeah, I guess life's silly.
Dude,
Uh,
uh, I still remember all the dinners
Wait,
where
there's
my
a
mom
saying about.
complains.
Hold on. Oh, I might have a good
Yeah.
one to tie
Oh,
about
you
anger.
might.
Anger being a hot coal. Hold on.
Oh,
It's from
yeah.
Buddha.
Anger's a hot,
It's not
hot
great,
coal.
but Buddha
Some.
goes, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. I think I was more looking for like, this guy had a hot coal and wanted to do something with it, throw it at
Mm.
somebody. And you could also just, I think you get to choose how you react to things, to everything, really. And you could have just chosen to do anything else.
Oh, fuck, dude. And on a quote where you think you're better than Buddha.
Oh, all right. Monday we do the Azores.